Hello everyone, my name is Joseph Gwynne-Jones. I'm studying at Leeds Met and I'm doing IT Forensics and Security. Today I'm going to talk about passwords. I'm sure it's in the news recently about passwords being stolen from big corporate companies like Adobe, Tesco, etc. And there's a good example in 2009. There was the company RockU, and there's loads and loads of passwords, and these are clear examples of when it's gone wrong. So I'm going to talk about that. Right then, just bear with me. Obviously there's lots of passwords that have been analysed, and lots of people use the same password regardless of usernames. So from 2012 there was passwords like on the screen. These are real, genuine, like I love you, dragon, monkeys. All of those are actually genuine passwords. And the lists don't change, over time people use the same static passwords. And this is why password lists are useful, because we need to think about how information is stored. So to make passwords even more secure, they have to be salted, and then they're hashed as well, so they basically increase the security and the fluidity of the passwords and make them more safe. So they use various different characters and numerical fields within them. So when you log in with your account name, when it's salted, it becomes hashed as well, and the hash has to be matched through the password security system to actually let you go into your account, regardless of where it is. Unfortunately, some big companies, I'm talking billion turnover companies, just use clear text passwords that aren't salted, that aren't hashed. And that's really, really bad. Plain text is very easy to get into and to access and to be compromised. And password lists are useful for cracking. So basically this works in the way where you have your password list. So there could be password 121, they'll try and see if it's hashed, and then they move down to the next password 122, and so on in sequential order. And then once the hash is matched, then it's cracked. That's how it works. The password list makes things quicker, which means the password cracker will try and go through them in sequential order and to match them to the accounts. And cracked passwords, we need to look at why these are useful. For me, we all have accounts, a variety of ones. They could be HSBC, Facebook, Twitter, Halifax, various banks, Adobe, all those kind of places. Myself, I've got over 100 accounts. And the biggest problem is people use the same password for all of their accounts online. So due to security reasons, once you've got the password for one, then you can basically access all different passwords as well. So this is kind of how the system works. For example, Adobe software, they could have the email which is linked to a password, and they'll try that basically. Once they've secured one person's password for one website, they can use it then to repeat it on other well-known famous sites and basically make a profit from that. This has been stretched, unfortunately, from my original presentation. Basically, we all know this theory, but don't use the same password twice. I am guilty of doing this myself a couple of times, but we all know not to use the same password twice. So I'm wondering, who does use strong, powerful passwords? Does your mum use them? Is it students on security courses only that use powerful, strong passwords? I'm not sure. Because I was at university myself recently, and the teachers gave us a challenge where we had to break into other students' images. And I basically used that through a remote access to their network, and then I put in a key locker onto their computers, and it collected all the keys that had been pressed, and that's basically how I got their passwords for the login. I won that competition, and but obviously this could have carried on. I could have I knew all their personal information like Gmail and Yahoo and all that, but I basically advised them that this is the weakness and this is what needed to happen. So, but the situation is very easily to get in, and it's for me that was, specifically for university, that was quite terrible and a bit of an example of how easy things can be accessed. A password manager system is one way. Myself, I use LastPass. It's up to you what you use, really. Password managers help you. You have loads and loads of passwords, and they'll keep a list for different accounts. And for example, if you were to be compromised on one account, it would just be that one account that would be affected, as opposed to all of them, because they're all randomly selected. And also, there's additional security measures like, I'm sure everyone in this room has a smartphone with them at the moment. You can download this app called the Authy app, or there's the Ubico, which is a USB key. When you use that, it creates a random number which isn't repeated. It's changed all the time, so that means that's how information can be secured more safely. Or if someone wants to try and break into it, it doesn't obviously match and synchronize with the numbers in the other devices. So there is alternate ways of looking at protection in terms of passwords. Talking about password management, you're thinking, okay, so if someone's broken into my password manager, I'm done for, So you may look at this and think this is a beautiful password. It's got characters, capitals, small case, spaces, numbers, and all those symbols as well, but actually it's not. Password crackers are really effective, and they'll use specific sites like Wikipedia, and they'll look for keywords, key phrases, key expressions, and it was actually able to break that password because it's actually used and referred to on Wikipedia. I mean, you look at it and you think, oh, that's an amazing password, no one will ever break that, but that's actually stored somewhere as a phrase on the internet, as stated on the screen. A possible idea is to, I was doing keynotes, but this is now in PowerPoint, so it's going to be SKUIF. This is diceware, it should say on the screen. It's basically it's software that kind of treats things like the roll of a dice in terms of the way that things are selected. So when you roll a dice 5 times, you get a number, as shown on the screen there, the 63425. And the internet has 7,725 words listed randomly, and you match them to the numbers. So you roll 5 dice, then you get the first word, and then you roll 5 dice again to get the second word. And they're recommended at least 6 words, rolling 6 times basically to get 6 words. There are English words, but they're not within normal syntax, normal grammatical structure or order. They're just very randomly picked. This is very strong, and to increase it, you can actually add an extra character, like I did with Vixen in the one below. Added an extra E into that just to give that extra element of security. You can use exclamation marks, various characters. It's up to you. This is something which is a really useful tool. I'm sure you've all heard about the Heartbleed situation. It's been spoken about today a few times, I've heard already, and obviously there was a recommendation for people to change their passwords and things like that. So basically, if you don't practice safe passwords, then obviously you're going to be at risk. So we need to look at, it's a good opportunity to remind everyone really to look at their passwords, and that's why I use password management systems and things like that to give myself that extra security. Okay, I went a bit quicker than I thought there, to be honest, and thank you all for watching. And thanks for Tom for supporting me, and for organising everything here, and the support and the BSL support I've had today. So, and obviously I think in English, and then it's been translated into BSL, and then it's going to go to Ian, over to you. It's a bit like Google Translation, going from English to Russian and then going back to English, so it's all going to be a bit skewiff. So hopefully you understand what the interpreter's been speaking about today. If you're thinking, oh my god, what's he talking about, is not making any sense, blame the interpreter, not me. Okay, thank you very much. Bye-bye. Anybody have any questions? Oh, silence. Well, silence is normal for me, but there we go.
So what's the advantage of the dice method over just getting LastPass to generate a random password for you?
Yeah, so basically the way that the diceware works is it increases because of how it's set up. It's not following the structure and the order. It's randomly chosen. It kind of increases the security levels in terms of the sequencing of words and the orders that they're put in. Yeah, for example, like I am, grammatically speaking, following that structure. And this wouldn't match websites like Wikipedia, where it's all done within the English grammatical order, so it's all mixed about and a bit more skew-if. So that's kind of where the strength of that comes from in comparison to just doing a random generated. Did that answer your question, or have I gone off the point?
Don't think it.
I think the advantage of this is it's easier to remember, so you would use this to
as your LastPass.
Easy for your name, yes. And then random. Yeah. So it's used for the main password from a password management system. Gotcha. Okay. Okay. Thank you, everyone.